All right, I'm going to try this again. If I go too fast, stop me. If you would, please, on your desktop, create a brand new folder. Yes, brand new. And we'll call this brand new folder on our desktop Alphanos2. Not Alphanos, Alphanos2. All right? Then we don't have to worry about removing repositories and doing a bunch of other stuff. So, the first thing we did was we went out and we created a new folder on our desktop called Alphanos2. All right? Now, inside of that folder, open it up, and we're going to create another folder that we're going to call dist, D-I-S-T. Don't worry about putting anything in it. So we have created a brand new folder called Alphanos2, and inside of there we created another folder named dist. All right. Then going back to our original Alphanos folder here, all right, we don't want any of this stuff. We don't want the .git, so I'm going to get rid of that because this is what we did before. We don't want the .git, so just delete that. Come on, fine. For whatever reason, it's not letting me remove that. I think it's because I've got a bunch of other stuff open. The only thing I want you to grab are the actual files that we used when we created the application. So for you, it'll probably be what? You'll have these folders. You'll have images. You'll have index.html. You will have about.html. You will have contact.html. And you may have had a CSS folder. You may have had a JS. So these are folders. These are files. And this is a folder. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. So for me, the only thing that I actually need, because my website is not complete, so the only thing I need is my images folder and my index.html file. That's it. So I'm going to grab both of those and I'm going to copy them right into that dist folder. Drag them over there and choose copy. So when I'm done, my dist folder says images and it says index.html. Yours probably says a lot more than mine because you've got the complete site. Is everybody with me? All right. So that's the preparatory work that we need, okay? Then I had mentioned to you, you don't have to do this again because we already did it, all right? But if you remember as a class, we went out to nodejs.org and I told everybody to grab the LTS or long-term support version, click on that, and do the install. You've already done that, so there's no sense in doing any of that stuff. All right? Okay. So now we're going to go back into our Alphanos2 folder right there and go into your dist folder in the Alphanos2 folder. Is everybody here? All right. Then I want you to right mouse click on this and choose Git Bash here. All right. Let's just go in and create all of the stuff that we'll need for NPM. You with me? So just type in npm init -y, just like that. npm space init space -y. That, if you look up on the screen here, that in here will create a file called package.json. All right? So I hit enter. It's going to sit and do all that stuff, and you'll notice there's my package.json file. We'll make changes to that in just a moment. Questions on that, though? Any problems with that? All right. So let's go in and open up our package.json file and make the changes that we have to make. Now, we're not going to make all of them right now, so don't worry about it. All right? So, right here, the big change that we got to worry about right now is this one that's right there. All right? And I know it's not a complete file yet. There's still a few things missing. Don't worry about it. We'll put them in just a moment. All right? We'll get them there in just a bit. So we've got all that, and we want to replace that with what I had told you to do before, which was, let me grab it. So again, whoops, this is in our script section. Remove that whole line that says test and replace it with that one. All right, I don't know if it'll help or hurt. It's in blue right now. Now it's in gray. Where here? That's a period. All right? There's still more that we have to do in this file. We're not going to do it yet. We'll do it in just a moment. All right? Before we do that, go back, please, into here. We now have that package.json file. I want you to be in your dist folder. All right? And from your git bash window, all right, so from your git bash window, which is where we are right now, let's do what we normally do as far as git stuff goes. So let's do our git space init. And again, if you look up on my screen, I do not have a .git folder. Now I do. There it is. All right, so we've done that. We've now got we have set up our Git repository. So the next thing to do then is to do a git space add space dot, and that's adding everything to our new repository. All right, so we've got all that done. We're not finished yet, so I'm going to clear again, and I'm going to say git space commit space -m pushing Alfano's website to GitHub hub pages. All right, and hit enter. So again, that's what I said was git commit -m pushing Alfano's website to GitHub pages right there. When you do, you'll get a bunch of stuff telling you, again, you'll have more than I do because your site is more complete than my site is. All right? Then stop, go to your github.com, so go into wherever you are out on GitHub. So I'm going out to github.com right there and create a new repository. So I click the plus sign. You can also go in here and click new, either one. But I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to put in new repository, and I'm going to call this one. Notice if I just typed in Alfano's, it gives me an error, and it says that already exists. Well, so I'll just put a 2 on the end because that's what we just called this. Now, you please make sure that yours is public for this to work. All right? So Alfano's 2, public, then just go down to the bottom and click Create Repository right there. Then grab this line that says Git Remote Add Origin, grab that line, just that line, and copy it to the clipboard. All right? Then come back into here and paste that line in. Again, that is doing the association between our Git project and our project we want to push it to our repository out on GitHub. All right? So, just to make sure, I'm going to do a git remote -v, and you'll notice, yes, it's got the right stuff. You don't want yours, of course, to say here Alfanos, because that's the first one we did. All right? Everybody still with me? All right. Now, jumping back then into my steps. Let's see what we've done and what we haven't done, okay? We made the folder. We copied over everything. We did not copy over the .git folder. We went out to Node, and we downloaded the newest long-term support. All right? We did the npm init -y. Again, there are other files that get created in there. We don't care about those right now. All right? Now, next we want to type in this command. So, again, from your window in here, I'm going to clear and type in npm I, which means install, gh-pages. So you can, look up there. I got it in gray, and I've got it up here as well. Once you put in npm space I space gh-pages like this, hit enter. You'll get some messages and some stuff that will come up. The stuff that comes up really and truly isn't very important. It's just talking to you about the dependencies and stuff that it found in there. Plus, it made an addition to your package.lock file. Now, I'm going to close my package.json file, and it says, hey, it's been modified. Do I want to reload it? In fact, I'll just click reload. Yes. And there's the new line. See this? Now, for some reason, it didn't give me this. I lost this that I had before, so I got to put that back in again. Did you all hear what I said? I got to put that line back in. That's not a problem. So I've got that back. Good. All right. Now, we don't have down here that home thing. It didn't give it to us. Or maybe you've got it. I don't know. But I don't have it. All right? So what I'm going to do, notice it did add my GitHub Pages dependency. That's a good thing. That says this project depends on GitHub Pages, which it does. All right? So, looking at my steps here, I have done step 1, I have done step 2. GitHub Pages, review that, do this. Okay, now I'm going to need this without the comma on the end. Now, let me explain to you real quick. Don't type it in or anything. Just look for a second, if you would, please. Because I want to explain to you, if this line of code, I can put this line basically anywhere. If I put it up here, let's say that I put it there. Are you with me? So I put it in there. Then I need the comma. Notice how there's a comma after each one of these sections end? But since it's at the end, I don't need a comma. And I want to change this from Alfanos to Alfanos 2. This, where it says your GitHub name, is you put in your GitHub name. All right? I think mine's JP Scott Rankin. Yes.
Will the Alfanos 2, is it case sensitive, or can it do all other things?
It should be case insensitive. Okay. Since we called it that with a big A, I'll try it with a big A. That's fine. Any questions on anything we've done so far? Again, probably a good time to come in here and save this package.json file. All right, I'm going to jump back then into here and I want to make sure I didn't skip anything. So we did all of step 1. To my knowledge now, we've done all of step 2. All right. Now we've got to go in here in our project, and I'm not in VS Code right now. So if you're in VS Code, you'll do it a little differently than I'm about to. But if you look on the screen, I'm going to come in here and right mouse click and do a new text document. I just want this to be called .git ignore. All right. Yes, I want nothing there. So there it is. And when you open it up, the only thing that you need in there is node modules. That's it. That's in our git ignore file. So I put that in and I am saving. I should be able to close this now. Again, it is looking for it to be that name, okay, .git ignore. All right, so we made the git ignore, we put in the node modules, we went to GitHub, we did our typical GitHub stuff. All right, we pasted in the git remote add origin line. All right, and we did the git init, we did the git add dot, we did the git commit. So hopefully now we can do our git push. All right. Now, if you have to, double check first and make sure I can do another git remote -v. Yeah, my remote's set up. Yours should be as well. Okay. So now that we've done all that, I should be able to push this. So I'm pasting that in. Again, yours might be main, yours might be master. All right, I'm going to hit enter. And it's going through, spinning through, doing its stuff, so to speak. All right. So I'm going to jump back into my GitHub account. And I'm going to refresh the screen. And I've got my stuff in there. That's good. It's all been pushed to Git. However, and you've already seen this, please look on the screen. We do not have in here a GH pages. That's what we'll add right now. All right, and hopefully this will work for everyone. All right, so we've done everything that's here, and now we should be able to go back again to our Git window, our Git bash here window, and put in that command that you see up there in gray. npm run deploy, like that. Hit enter. Good golly, give me a frickin' break. Failed to parse JSON. Lovely, just fan-frickin-tastic. All right, name dist version 0, must be actual JSON, not just a JavaScript. Well, let me look at this. What I'm wondering, and if I did, it's my fault. No, that is a JSON file. Looking for something that looks wrong here. Okay, it gave me my name of dist. I don't want that to be called dist. You see that? If yours says dist, change that to Alfanos 2. That may be the problem. I don't know. You see why I don't like people to do npm init -y? Because it can lead to things that you aren't expecting to have. All right. Now, I don't know if just doing that is going to fix it or not, or if we have to go through the whole process again. We may have to. So we may have to go back and repush. So I'm going to go back to here just to be sure, and I'm going to clear, and I'm going to do a git add dot, because we made a change to one of our files, right? So I went back in there, I did a git add dot. I'm going to do another git commit -m fixed error in package.json file. I'm hoping that's going to fix it. All right, then I'm going to try to push it again. All right, and come back in here again into my Git and refresh, and now I should get, notice, fixed error in package.json file. See that? All right. I'm hoping this fixes it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be a happy man. And it didn't. Son of a biscuit. Error code eJSON parse package.json. Error failed to parse JSON. unexpected string at position 244 while parsing it. Parse name Alphanos2, version 1. Failed to parse package.json data. Must be actual JSON, not just JavaScript. It is JSON. Complete log of this can be found in this. I'm going to look at the log and see if I can figure out what the problem is. Everything we just went over, those were the right steps. That. All right, everybody see this? Don't do this yet. Let's make sure it works first. There was no comma there. See that? Where I've got the comma? That might have been where the problem was, but I'm going to check. So let me just check. And that's actually, I got a good message right here, because previously, when it noticed the file before that it showed the change in, hit ignore, fixed error impact, no, that should have been here. All right, so I'm hoping that fixed everything. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to jump back into here. I'm going to find that npm run deploy. That's good. Should come back now and say published in a matter of seconds. There. All right. So now when I go back and look again and I refresh, so you need the comma here, and you need it to say Alphanos2 up there. All right. I'll leave this up here for just a second. And again, of course, yours is going to be your GitHub name, okay? Questions?
Can we print out the instructions?
Yeah. All right, and after you've done all that, and you go back out to GitHub, and we look under here, and I refresh, I now have a master and a GH pages. You should as well. All right? Then, last thing, if you look up on the screen here, if you go to settings and click on settings right there, and, come on, and you go all the way down to where you find the GitHub Pages stuff, there'll be something that says Page Settings now has its own dedicated tab. Check it out here. If you click on that tab it should say your site is published, and it should give you the URL. And if you click there, there it is. All right? So I will clean up the instructions, and yeah, I'll give everybody, I will just email you a copy. If you don't want it, throw it out. Nicholas, did yours work? Mason, did yours work?
No.
Okay, what happened?
Give me an error for. This is probably not a problem with NPM, it's likely additional one.
Okay, can you go back to your package.json file, please? As far as I can tell, let's see. Figure out why that's there. I don't think that's there on mine. I don't know what that is, how that got put there. I'm not saying you put it there, I'm just. So let's go back to here. All right. Now, does yours, if mine's up there, does yours match mine? And I take it you made the Alphanos 2 folder. Yes. Try to go to the beginning of line 6. The very beginning of that line. Hit the backspace key. Hit it again. Okay, hit enter again. And I'm not sure what it's got. I've never seen that before. Oh, you got, it looks like you might have the run and debug thing set up there. That's not going to hurt anything. Okay, and everything else looks the same?
Yeah.
All right, just do another file save then. And go ahead and close that. And then in your window here, just run through the stuff again. So do another git add dot. Now what is that? Is that giving an error? You added another git repository inside of your repository. I don't know. I'll tell you what, let's just do this. Close it. All right, get rid of your Git folder. All right. When it comes back, open up another Git dash here. Let's just run through the whole thing. So git init, git space add space dot, git, that's fine. When it comes back, you git commit, put whatever you want in there for a message. Right, well, that's all good. Now, before we push it, you've already created that. Let's go out and look at your GitHub page. Just refresh that. All right, so go back to here and push it. Okay, well that ain't good. I'll tell you what, just minimize that. And let's make sure you've got one, okay? So, hopefully I can go back here. Type in this right now, git space, remote space, minus V. We probably don't have that, so just in a hit enter. Does it have anything?
No.
Okay, then we have to set it up. So, I've got that command right here, hold on. All right. So you will want to say this, but for that URL, we're going to have to change that to your GitHub repository / you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Should I still do this up on 02 even though I have everything in there already?
Should you still do what?
So we made the second repository, right? Because we were redoing it,
Yeah.
and it already has all this stuff in there. Should I just remove it all? Because the second one we did with the redo, and it, you know what I'm saying, it has all
I think it's going to replace it all.
Okay.
All
So
right.
just,
Now, as far as that, again, let's see if I can back this up. I'll leave that there, but let me. So yours is going to look like this, right here, except it's going to have M. Schuessler or whatever you called yours, other than that. So don't put the fetch and push, of course, but you should be able to just put all of this in there. So yours was good, yours is good now, okay. I'll get you the instructions in just a second. Then just do your get remote minus V to make sure, okay? Now, see if you can push it. Right, it's never good, so what does that say?
you have to push somewhere else to the repository. It says get pull before pushing again. Should I just
It says what?
get pull before pushing again?
Yeah, but when you pull, you're grabbing the stuff that's already there and you're pulling it down into your stuff. I don't know if it'll let you just, let's do this. Minimize this. And there is a way to do this. I think it's under settings. Go back, get out of that repository. In other words, stay in Git, but yeah, just go back to your home page. Good. Go to settings. Yeah, you might have to click up there. Now, there should be something down here on the left-hand side where you're able to remove a repository. Otherwise, I can Google it or you can Google it. It's been a while since I've had to actually remove one.